Welcome back once again. Today we're going to do a Nekros video, show you why Nekros is considered the greatest farmer in the game. He's actually quite a bit better than Hydroid or Hydroid Prime, but I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show and tell. Specifically, we're worried about his third ability, which is Desecrate.
Life support I'm delivering is your only chance for survival. I've delivered a life support capsule to the area.
Desecrate is an ability that you keep running. And as you can see from the little pink clouds that are popping up, Desecrate breaks down an enemy's body. And depending on the strength of Desecrate, can give you up to, I believe it's a 55% chance of doubling enemy drops. Now this is really good when you're trying to farm for specific resources, as I am here. In my case, I'm more or less looking for mutagen sample, which is the rarest drop in the entire game, and one of the weapons in the clan dojo actually requires, try to swallow this, 50,000. Now that might not sound bad, but on average, only 1 in 200 enemies drops one mutagen sample, unless you have boosters on like I do. And when they do drop, they only drop one at a time. Again, so even when you have boosters on and you're getting 2 per shot, using Nekros is still a good idea, because Nekros can turn a drop of 1 into a drop of 2, and can turn a drop of 2 into a drop of 4. This is why Nekros is the #1 farming frame in the game. Consequently, you'd want to build out your Nekros to be as survivable as possible, so that you can spend as long a time as humanly possible farming out the resources that you need, whether it's to build warframes or weapons, or just to help out your clan and put some cool stuff in your dojo. You're probably noticing the 3 boxes around me, and if you've seen some of my other videos, you already know what that means. It means that I'm using a copy of a mod called Health Conversion, which on warframes like Nekros and Nidus is especially useful. Nekros more so than any other warframe, because for whatever reason, when you're using the augment to spoil, Nekros has a tendency to drop almost triple the amount of life orbs from enemies. So there's almost always going to be life orbs for you to take advantage of. And no, we're not going to go over my cheesy playstyle in this particular video just yet. I will tell you that this particular method of using melee weapons is one of the things that DE in their quote-unquote infinite wisdom have decided that they would like to get rid of, and that they're going to do so by turning the melee combat of Warframe into Darksiders. Personally, myself and the overwhelming majority of the community see this as being a bad idea, but it is DE, and they are going to have to screw it up probably a dozen times or so before they get it right. That's just how these things go with them. Things like logic and reason don't seem to work on them, so you have to let them break it before they actually decide to fix it and make it something worthwhile. It is an unfortunate reality, but it's one that, for whatever reason, lots of game developers go through. So, as much as I'd like to point the finger at DE and say, yeah, it's just you guys, it's really just not. Do you have any doubt? Ask the developers of Hawken what happened when they lowered is too fair of a word. They cut the TTK of all the mechs in half and basically turned Hawken, which was supposed to be a mech simulator, into a COD clone with mech skins. They pretty much killed the game in a single update. I'm kind of hoping that that doesn't happen with Warframe, and given Warframe's huge player base, I think it's unlikely, although if their proposed Melee 3.0 is as bad as it seems, I suspect they're going to cut their active player base to less than a third of what it currently is, which is unfortunate because there's more and more people playing these days. It's a fun game. It's a really good game as a general rule. But like any long-lived game where the developers are constantly trying to feed it and constantly trying to evolve it and constantly trying to make it better, occasionally they're going to break things. Sometimes they do worse than others, but they're occasionally going to break things. But hey, that's my rant on Melee 3.0.
Keep up the good work.
As you can see from all the stuff that we've kept going here, I have barely had to touch anything as far as survivability. Just keeping Nekros going has allowed us to farm quite a bit of resources. I'm betting I have a boatload of nanospores, probably more than I'll ever spend just from this run. Like right there, I just got 400 nanospores. I mean, come on. That's crazy town.
Support incoming.
There's 2 more mutagen sample and 366 more nanospore. Wild and crazy, right? Well, let's go ahead and head for the exit so we can get back to the ship and show you this build. Now, I will tell you that I am using a Nekros Prime, and I have put several forma into this Nekros so that I have some distinctive benefits that most people probably aren't going to have, at least not out of the gate. However, the good news is that you can absolutely get said benefits. Oh my goodness gracious. How in the heck? You know what, there's a thing over there that I want, and I want to go get it, and I just can't figure out how. I want the thing! Give me the thing! Oh, you're no fun, my friend. No fun. You squeeze the life out of me! Yeah, see, it would appear to be through here, but I see no method of getting through that, so... Yeah, hey, let's hide goodies that you're going to want to get behind something that you can't cross. Yep, that's about typical DE for you. What are you going to do?
Tenno, prepare for life support.
I say DE, but really that's what happens whenever you create a system that randomizes the level layout. It's called procedural level generation. When the level generations are procedural like that, those little F-ups, they're pretty frequent. Come on. There's a good loading screen. Alright, let's take a look at this build. So, of course, this is my Nekros Prime. And here's what we have for a build. Steel Charge, Primed Sure-Footed, Primed Vigor. Steel Fiber, Health Conversion. This is an absolute must for any Nekros build. Stretch, Gladiator Resolve for a little extra health. And, of course, to stack on with the Gladiator mod that I'm using on my weapon to stack onto Blood Rush and make my crit a lot better. Primed Flow, so I can have a nice big energy pool to draw from, although honestly Nekros doesn't really need it unless you're going to be using his first and fourth abilities. Overextended, get that range nice and big and sexy. And of course Despoil, this is the one that you absolutely must have for a Nekros farming build. Desecrate Augment no longer consumes energy but consumes 10 health per corpse instead. This is why I can't help but wonder if this is part of the reason why when you use Nekros and you use the Desecrate ability, it drops so many health orbs, is just so that Despoil actually becomes a much better mod. Because of this, Nekros does not need to draw from his energy pool.
Ordis wonders, what are you thinking about?
You know what? We're about tired of Ordis talking. Ordis just does not know how to shut his mouth, so I'm going to fix that. Goodbye, Ordis. Now he can talk to his little heart's content. Some other augments that you can use on Nekros, one that I would I would very highly recommend if you're having a really hard time surviving and you can't get a hold of a copy of Health Conversion, which is the better option, would be Shield of Shadows. It's an augment for Nekros' fourth ability that says each shadow that you summon takes 6% of the damage that would be done to Nekros in his stead. So how that plays out is you can summon a maximum of 7 Shadows of the Dead, and those shadows will take 6% of the damage that you would take. So if you're going to take the damage instead funnels down the lifeline and is absorbed by the shadows that you raise. Now, this has the drawback, Shadows of the Dead has the drawback of you need to kill some people as a Nekros before you can actually summon any. If your teammates are doing all the killing, you're not going to be able to summon anything. You need to kill some stuff. The other thing that's really helpful for Nekros is his passive. Restore a small amount of health with every nearby enemy death. Now this, as far as I've been able to tell, will go off regardless of who makes the kill, you or your teammates. So if you combo that with Shadows of the Dead, with Health Conversion, with Desecrate, with the fact that he's going to be picking up health orbs every few seconds, your Nekros can live an incredibly long time, much longer than he would be able to by himself. On that note, I hope you enjoy farming with your Nekros or Nekros Prime build. Of course, if you like the video, like it. If you don't like it, hit that don't like button. Whatever you do, get subscribed, recommend the video to your friends, and I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great day.